everybody, and welcome to Mayor Elizabeth Jones's Variety Hour.
Hello.
Yes,
We're doing it stand up today.
yes,
We couldn't
yes,
couldn't find a good park, so we're gonna probably have guests go by us
right.
to say hi. But other
Yeah.
than that, we're at the Appomattox River. I
Okay.
think there's a river behind us.
Yes, Appomattox River.
It's
So
it's I think there's a
beautiful river.
beautiful river. Yes,
Yes,
it's a beautiful river. You can find all the catfish you want here,
exactly. Yeah.
and all the other garbage eaters.
Right, right.
Oh, by the way, I made a joke about cat. I've never eaten catfish.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, I love catfish.
Well, you know why I don't eat catfish?
Why?
Because when I was a kid, I used to go fishing a lot.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
as a kid, and
Yeah.
not anything fancy like with a rod. It was
Yeah.
basically just with a pole and a hook,
Right.
and went with my friends, and we'd have a good time. And the catfish, we would catch a lot of catfish,
Uh-huh.
and they were the most disgusting animals. And I understand people eat them.
Wow.
Now, I'll tell you how fishing works with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the wrong thing about fishing is that fishing, when I was a kid, I wouldn't eat fish. And the
Yeah.
reason why was I would go fishing, put a worm on the end of a hook,
Oh
and
wow.
then someone and then you'd catch the fish,
Oh.
and then I kind of figured out, wait a minute, if the fish eats the worm and I eat the fish, I'm eating the worm too.
Oh wow.
So then my mom set me straight, and she said, no, 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 no. This is how it works. The fish had never, for one thing, the fish never gets to eat the worm because as soon
Yeah.
as he sees the worm and bites into the hook, he doesn't. It's like his last meal,
Right,
so he
right.
doesn't really eat it.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is that a fish has never seen a worm before.
Yeah.
It's a new delicacy to fish.
Exactly.
Don't like dig in the dirt looking for
Right,
worms like so.
right,
I don't know
right.
where people got the idea that fish eat worms,
I know.
but it seems to work in
Yeah.
fishing.
They use them as bait, you
Yes,
know.
they use them as bait.
It attracts them, you know.
In fact, and then I got into fishing, and then I found out
Oh
there were
yeah.
fly fishing, and these were just pieces
Right.
of plastic pieces, and
Yeah.
it's not even food. It's not even edible, and they use
Right.
it over and over again.
Yeah.
People actually tie them and they're very elaborate with embroidery
Oh
on these
wow.
things.
I used to try to do fishing when I was
Yeah,
younger because my dad used to fish and some of his friends used to fish. So,
yeah,
I just kind of tried it,
how it work.
it was okay. I mean, it was experience, but
They always. I remember going fishing with older people, with like
right,
adults,
right,
and it was fun the first time. And the second time,
yeah,
they didn't have a reel for me, so I just sat
right,
in the boat while they all did the fishing,
right,
and it was the biggest bore. Because there's nothing sadder than being in a boat and
right.
watching everybody else fish
I
when you're
know.
not doing, even though they're not really doing too much either.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
just waiting for the fish.
Yeah, I mean, it gets kind of boring after a while, though.
Yeah.
You just kind of sit there and just like it's like the same routine. You know what I'm saying?
There's a movie,
Yeah.
The River Runs Through It, about where the father teaches Brad Pitt and his
Right.
other
Yeah.
son
Okay. Okay.
about fishing,
Yeah.
and he teaches it as almost like a Zen sort of
Oh.
meditation.
Okay.
You're not really supposed to. You're not really supposed to
Yeah.
think too hard about it. In fact, you're supposed to
Yes.
have your mind clear.
Right.
Come on over. And so and also, well, so getting back to catfish,
Yeah.
the problem with catfish is that I would see these the most disgusting fish.
Ew.
So I would never eat. To this day, I don't eat the catfish. But then somebody told me that when you go to a restaurant, the catfish are not garbage eaters. They feed them grain and stuff in a farm raised catfish.
Yeah.
It's funny how they said, and that's fine. Farm raised is fine,
Yeah.
but farm raised anything else like salmon or shrimp or something is bad. You want to catch that stuff a while.
Yeah. I mean, my dad when my dad used to catch fish and all
Yeah,
that, he would like bring it home and like cook it, but he'll clean it and take all the bones out, try to take all the bones out and
yeah.
all that. So.
Isn't there in the Bible someone chokes on a fish bone or something? Isn't there a Bible story?
Oh yeah, I think I forgot what actual book it's from, but
Yeah,
you know,
that left an impression on me.
yeah,
Well, there's a reason not to eat fish.
yeah. It's kind of scary. It is kind of scary.
I remember someone said,
when you
"Have
told
you
me
ever?"
about it.
It took me a while. Other than fish sticks, I never used to eat fish as a kid.
Yeah.
And somebody said, somebody said, "Why? Why don't you?" Somebody said to me, said, "Why don't you eat fish?" And I said, because of the bones in it and all the other things
Yeah.
like that. And somebody said, it tastes just like chicken. So
Yeah.
I said, then bring me some chicken.
Speaking speaking of what we're talking about right
Yeah,
now, except this is like a chicken bone that
chicken bone.
yeah. My grandfather told me years ago. You know Elizabeth Taylor, the movie star.
Yes,
She almost died because she almost choked on a chicken
I
bone.
remember that happened. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a very funny
I
skit
think
on.
she was probably was a kid or something.
No,
But
it actually happened as an adult.
oh,
There's
okay,
a very
okay.
well. It's sort of this shows
Yeah,
you that they don't really do it so much on Saturday Night Live anymore.
yeah.
Make fun of
Right.
people, like, I mean, in a vicious way. But
Yeah.
in the olden days, they did in the '70s,
Uh huh.
and there was a skit with John Belushi
Oh, okay.
playing Elizabeth, the
Oh.
fat Elizabeth Taylor, and at
Ah.
one point in the interview with Bill Murray,
Oh
I
my
guess,
goodness.
or Jane Curtin, whoever it was, he started choking on the bone and
Wow.
gave herself. It was supposed to be
Oh.
Elizabeth Taylor. The
Yeah.
Heimlich maneuver, and then a big thing of
Ah.
wad of chicken came out of his mouth,
Wow.
and everyone thought that
Yeah.
was funny.
Yeah.
And then what's weird, and usually in these cases on Saturday Night Live, that person will die, and they'll delete that
Yeah.
video. They did that with Brittany Murphy in a
Right.
skit and a few other skits, and Nicole Smith and stuff. But
Yeah.
then when they did it with Elizabeth Taylor, Elizabeth Taylor lived on while John
Right.
Belushi died like within a year or something
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, so yeah, they would tell me about. In fact, I remember somewhere someone told me, yeah, they were trying to feed like these kids some fish, and they were saying, "Come on, I understand you kids like fish. That's why I made you fish." And then one kid piped out, "I like fish sticks, not
Oh.
fish."
I grew up on fish
On
sticks.
Mrs. Paul's.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the real made fish better.
The
I
what?
mean,
The real what?
yeah, the real made fish, like
Yeah.
the freshly caught fish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I even though I grew up on the fish sticks and all that stuff, but I'm coming to the point where I like the fresh catch fish better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I bet you there's a lot of fish here in this water.
yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of fish ready to be eaten.
Right. Whenever you're this way, you should go check out the Appomattox River.
Appomattox
It's
River.
really beautiful. It's also, if you like to fish, it's a good place to fish as well.
I
So,
don't see anyone swimming in it. Is it
yeah.
polluted?
I'm not really sure, but I've seen a lot of boats here. Maybe people go fishing and all that. So,
I think I told you this. I was in Barcelona. I was at the beach there, and no one was swimming in the water.
yeah,
And I said, "Why is?" And they actually had signs in Spanish. I don't think it was in English, but
yeah.
I think I think it said El um, El what's the Spanish word for poison? It was El Peludo or something.
Yeah. It's kind of like you're saying Pluto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then what was weird was just a few feet away, not a few feet, but maybe 100 feet away,
right,
there was a fence, and then everyone was in the water. And I said, "It's not polluted there. It was a fence that the water could go on either side."
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It reminds me when I first started flying in planes.
Uh-huh.
They had a smoking section and a non-smoking section.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
if you've been on a bus or even in planes in those days, they actually had, in the back was smoking, in the front was
Right.
non-smoking,
Yeah,
which was you can still smell the smoke from the back.
right.
But it was even worse on one bus I was on. The line was right in the middle, and on the left side there was
Uh,
smoking, and on the right side there was no
yes,
smoking. And
yeah.
what was weird was all the people puffing away on the left side got polluted this.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So I couldn't believe it. So now I I'm not really worried too much about getting in the water,
Yeah.
because I think water can be kind of dirty anyway,
Uh-huh.
but with all the animals in it,
Yeah, yeah.
but and all the geese flying over and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But I but if I know it's dirty, I certainly don't put my head in it.
Right. Yeah.
You never put your head in a hot tub.
Yeah.
I've never have.
Yeah. That would be really, really dangerous, probably.
A
Because the
hot,
hot tub is really hot, and you never know.
yeah. Well, they put chlorine in it and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and yeah, and you don't know, and they don't change water in hot tubs. No,
Yeah.
no, they don't change water in swimming pools about once a year.
Yeah.
But they say enough chlorine in it might, and they also kind of replace the water in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
keep
Well.
replenishing it, and it goes down a drain or something.
Yeah.
But I still don't know. The less I think about these things, the better, because I would never get into a swimming pool if
Right.
I knew all that.
Yeah.
My body, my body, because I go swimming every day pretty much, and I have earplugs. I have things that cover my eyes. I keep my mouth and nose shut like a like the
Right.
vault of a
Yeah.
bank. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So then I don't start, opening my
Right.
mouth until I'm now. When you're a
Exactly.
little kid and
Yeah.
you're learning how to swim, you
Yeah.
you're constantly drinking the water and spitting it out, and no,
Oh
that's
yeah.
not no way
But
to
I
live.
used to do that when I was a kid. Like
Yeah,
I would like drink the like water from the pool,
yeah,
and then I'd be like spitting it out and all
yeah.
that.
The
Yeah.
algae, all the people, all
Yeah.
the dirty toes that were in it.
Yeah. I didn't know any better because I was just a kid. So
And what's weird is
but I wouldn't do it now though.
when you're a kid, you're always sick. I guess this is
Right.
why.
Yeah. I mean.
I was sick all the time as a kid, always getting the flu and always
Oh
getting.
yeah. Yeah.
I hear a funny story about
Yeah.
getting sick.
Yeah.
I have a niece who's now all grown up, but
Uh huh.
when she was little, she was living at home, living with my parents, and I was there for a while. Well, I was there. I wasn't there at this point, and I came back to visit and spent the night for some reason, and then I see my niece and my sister about to take her to school, and she had a thermometer in her mouth.
Oh.
She had a thermometer
Oh
in her
no.
mouth, and I said, "Why does she have a thermometer? Is she sick?" She goes, "No, she always claims she's sick, so she doesn't have to go to school." So I have to
Oh.
take her temperature.
Oh.
So then, after a while, my sister, uh, this is one of the funny stories. She took the thermometer from my niece's mouth and says, "Well, I got bad news for you." And she goes, "What's the bad news?" She goes, "You're well. It's normal temperature.
I think I
You
heard that
have to go to
story.
school."
I think I heard that story
Yeah.
before.
Well, I tell all my stories over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. It does wrong with that,
You hang around me too much. You hear all my stories a second time. Let me tell you something. I tell people who hang around me all the time. I can't. I'm not. I can't think of new stories all the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember there was an episode of Seinfeld where his family were saying his uncle said, I saw you on the Tonight Show the other night. You said the same jokes on Letterman. He goes, "Yeah, I don't expect everyone to see every show I do like you, and take count
Right.
of all my the same types of people who when you go to a wedding count the drinks.
Yeah.
You know those people?
Um,
When you go to a wedding or go to anything, any sort of affair where there's drinking.
uh-huh.
Oh, Kevin, I see that's your fourth drink.
Yeah.
I didn't know the alcohol police were here.
Yeah. Well,
Why did you have fun instead of keeping score of everybody?
right, because if I were the bride, I would probably have like a cash ball because they separate the alcohol from if anybody doesn't drink,
Yeah.
and everybody else does.
Uh,
I would have a cash bar because I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have any. I mean, I would. I don't really mind it, but I don't think I'll probably have alcohol all the way. I mean, it would be nice
well,
and
you
all
keep
that.
keep it a dry wedding. But let me
Yeah,
tell you something. I've been to dry weddings or even worse. A dry wedding is fine
yeah,
if you know that going into it.
yeah,
But if you or dry anything, dry
yeah,
party or something.
yeah,
But all those people come from all over the country to come to your affair, your
yeah,
wedding or something,
yeah,
and then they have to pay for alcohol.
uh,
I guess they don't have to bring a gift either.
yeah.
That's the gift,
Well,
buying the alcohol.
I would just let them have fun.
Yeah.
Maybe just if I change my mind or whatever.
First rule of
Yeah,
throwing an event like a wedding or something
yeah,
or any
yeah,
sort of party.
yeah.
Um, if you don't drink and you don't eat meat, then don't expect anyone to come to your event if you don't have alcohol or meat there.
Yeah.
Nobody says you have to drink, and nobody says you have to eat meat. But your
No.
guests kind of expect that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would make my guests really happy, you know. Let them have a good time.
Who gets the money from the cash bar? You? You would
Well,
collect it. You
the bartender
the
does.
bartender? Oh.
Yeah.
Like they don't make enough money.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. I was just
think
kind
drinks
of,
cost too much as it is.
yeah,
Oh, by the way, I'm talking about drinks. I'm talking about it in the past tense. I haven't had a drink in
yeah,
more than 10 years.
yeah,
But I still remember. I still got that phantom drink. Phantom.
yeah.
I I think I said this once before. When I stopped drinking, about 6 months later, after 6 months of not drinking,
Yeah.
someone I hadn't seen since high school saw me and said, "Did you get a facelift?" And I just thought there was, oh, I guess not drinking is a good thing because I must
Yeah,
have had that
yeah,
wrinkled face
yeah, yeah.
that drinking brings
The
that
only
wincing
time,
thing.
the only time that I would like maybe drink alcohol is like once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
Like if I do a special occasion or something like
yeah.
that, that's okay. But like every day, that's not cool for
You know what
me.
Dean Martin said? It says
Yeah.
that you poor people who don't drink, when you wake up in the morning, that's as good as you're going to feel the rest of the day. Then I heard Richard Harris say the same thing. Both legendary
Right,
drunkards. Now,
right.
what when you go to an event, what do you go for? The shrimp or the lobster balls or
Oh yeah.
or
Oh yeah. I
the
like the hors d'oeuvres,
the hors d'oeuvres? Now,
Shrimp.
do you have any recipes for those things?
Yes, there's ramen noodles that, people eat when,
Those
they trip.
ramen, yeah, that
Yeah,
that wheat. I don't know, the
yeah,
Japanese noodles.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like, people usually cook like, just water, just boil 'em.
they have.
But I've learned a different new technique that I could cook those in. You kind of cook it like a stir fry,
Hmm.
and you boil the noodles first, of course.
You boil them.
Yeah, and
All
then
right.
after they're done boiling, you pour them into the frying pan.
Yeah.
Add a little olive oil, then add some seasoning like soy sauce, any kind of sauce
You add, what
normal.
else do you add to it?
I just add sometimes
Oh,
chicken
chicken.
or
Okay. Oh, so meat. Lumps
shrimp
of
or something like that.
chunks of meat,
Yeah, and sometimes vegetables maybe. So
vegetables,
it kind of depends on what.
bok choy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just take those and just like mix it together, and you'll have like a real stir fry.
Oh yeah, well, stir
Instead of
fry is
just
always good.
instead of just making it like the plain old way,
Hmm.
like we used to make when
You just
we were
put
kids.
boiling water over it and then
Yeah,
eat it.
yeah.
That's no
So
fun.
yeah, and I
I was
gotta.
never a ramen guy. I probably never really had it in real life. I've only
Mm,
had, like you said, pour the
yeah,
hot water over it and
yeah,
then eat it
yeah.
as soft
See,
noodles.
I grew up on it, so
Hmm.
and all that stuff. So
You
you know,
grew up on it.
yes,
All right, all right.
yes. Then we used to call them oodles of noodles.
Oodles and noodles. That's right.
That's what we used to call it.
Yeah.
But now they call it like ramen or
There's actually,
cup of noodles or whatever it
yeah. There
is.
was all that stuff was around when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Cup of noodles. I remember. I remember. I I I kind of got stopped eating that stuff
yeah,
before that happened,
yeah,
and I was eating a lot of when I was a kid Campbell soup.
yeah.
Both of them are like full of sodium.
I
There's basically salt
I
monsters,
used to
salt
like
bombs.
I used to like the Campbell's chicken with stars,
Chicken and stars. There was chicken and stars, chicken noodle,
but
chicken noodlos,
I used to
chicken and rice.
when I got older, the chicken in it is not real chicken.
Well, I think the chicken in it it's dark meat, and
Yes.
it's not really. It's just like a little crouton size piece. It's not
Oh
even that big. It's like half its size.
yeah.
And they throw a few of that in there. They throw the noodles in there. Kids think they're eating something nutritious because it's
Yeah,
not
I mean, I
sweet.
used to thought it was good when I was growing up. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you're a kid, you love it.
yeah, yeah,
And I remember about the Campbell soup was once my mom made me Campbell soup, and it had a really weird milky look about it.
mm,
And I said, "What's this?" And she said, actually, she put milk in it to make it to cool it off.
Yeah.
We never had ice in the house, so we always
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
like milk in the refrigerator.
Oh
So
yeah.
she poured that in to cool it off,
Yeah.
and I said, "What the hell is this?"
Well, she probably would have like made it like a creamy sort of.
I know.
I probably would have liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I was
mean,
I problem when I
but
was a kid. I think eating too much, drinking too much stuff with milk in it. They put milk in everything when I was a kid. To the point now that I can't
yeah.
eat anything with milk. I can't eat mayonnaise. I can't and name anything with milk.
Yeah.
Milkshakes. I can't eat
Right.
milkshakes. I can't.
Right.
I think I'm lactose intolerant,
Yeah.
and probably always was, but certainly
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And you if you're not sure if you're lactose intolerant, I could tell you terrible
Yeah.
phys- physical functions. But one thing for sure, if you get sick to your stomach drinking what everyone thinks is a great thing, a milkshake with eggs and cream
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and you just barf it all up,
Oh.
then you know that you're lactose. And that it's almost like a magic. It's almost like what a silver bullet is to a werewolf.
Yeah.
it's is what a
Yeah.
milkshake is to someone with lactose intolerant.
See, when I fry chicken,
Yeah,
I love to fry chicken. Okay,
yeah.
I use olive oil, even olive
Oh, that'll
oil
work.
or grapeseed oil or canola oil.
Yeah,
So I use either of those. And
those are your herbs and spices.
yeah, and then I do spice up my fried chicken.
Yeah,
Like herbs and all
yeah,
that, like powder stuff.
yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
and it turns out really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
chicken is your specialty then?
Yes,
Yes, chicken.
that and other stuff too. Like
Yeah,
I could make anything.
yeah. What else? What
Spaghetti,
else? Spaghetti is good.
spaghetti, hamburger.
Hmm. Oh,
What else?
hamburgers are good.
Fish, pork chops,
I tell kids
all
all the
that good
time.
stuff.
Kids always like going to fast food places and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and I always tell kids, the food your mom makes,
yeah,
whoever your mom is, in the kitchen, or your dad, if he happens to do that, but usually your mom. The hamburgers your mom makes better than anything you get at a fast food.
yeah,
The chicken is better than anything you get at the fried chicken place.
yeah. I even cook for him sometimes.
There you
So
go. Sometimes, yeah.
yeah,
There's a place. I remember when I was a kid, there was chicken. We never really ate fried chicken. A lot of families had fried chicken. We never had fried chicken, and we had shake and bake.
oh
But it
yeah,
was
I remember all
and
that.
what shake and bake was a plastic bag
Yeah, you
with
just
some
like
seasoning.
put the chicken in, and then just like
It
kind
came
of
with its own breadcrumbs. It
yeah,
wasn't by scratch. It was actually a kit that you did it, and then
yeah,
you'd shake the chicken in, and then put it on like a pizza sheet, and put it
yeah,
in
yeah,
the um, in the in the oven, and it
yeah,
would bake,
yeah,
and it was good.
yeah. I mean,
It wasn't dried out like fried chicken could be. It was actually moist and succulent,
yeah,
and it was good. And actually, looking back on it, it was probably healthier
yeah,
than fried chicken.
yeah,
It's got to the point now I can't eat more than two pieces of fried chicken before I give up. It's okay. I've had enough. Now
yeah,
pizza I could eat all day.
yeah,
I could eat I could eat candy all day.
yeah,
But two pieces of chicken, I'm all filled up.
yeah. Yeah, and I love the fried potatoes too.
Right? You mean French fries?
Kind of like hash browns, sort of.
Oh,
Like
hash brown. Oh, hash
I
browns are good.
just I just put them in oil and then season them, and just
Yeah,
mix them up.
I like them.
Yeah,
I prefer them to French fries. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Now French fries. You see, we never had a deep fat fryer when I was a kid.
Hmm.
I didn't even know. I think I said this. I never knew how
Yeah,
how French fries were made because you would eat them like maybe at a restaurant or a fast
yeah,
food
yeah,
place. But the French fries we had at home, my mom would take the Ore-Ida
yeah,
and just like the shake and bake and just put them on a cookie sheet and put in the bacon and then
yeah,
but they were good, but they
yeah.
weren't as
I grew up on all that
yeah,
too.
but
So
they weren't fried.
yeah,
And so years later, I visit my aunt in Ireland, and she has a deep fat fryer,
oh
and the French
yeah,
fries taste like they do at the
yeah.
restaurant.
I rather like deep fat French fries
Yeah.
than actually cook them in the oven.
So I call my mom in America, and I'm in Ireland, and I say to my mom, "How come we never had a deep fat fryer? The French fries taste so much better than the way
Yeah,
you
I
used to
know.
make them."
Yes, yes.
And she said, and this is what my mom said. She said, "If we had a deep fat fryer when you were growing up, you and all of your sisters would weigh 300 pounds now, and your father would be dead. As it turns out, we're all
Yeah.
still here, and I'm none of us are 300
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard a funny. I think I mentioned this to you. I heard it the other night on Bill Maher. He said something very interesting. Thank you, thank you. He's some guy I get my fashion sense. Well, I know.
Yes.
In fact, I'm against the sky, and you can't even. I'm against the sky, and you can't even tell the difference. I blend right in. It's like
Yes.
camouflage.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, see, we have a fan base here.
Yeah, we have a lot of fans
That's my
coming
plus
by
one.
sometimes.
That's my plus one at the next
Yes.
wedding.
Yes. All
Anyway, so my mom said, I heard Bill Maher say this the other night on a show. He says he was talking about obesity, and he said you never see a 90-year-old fat person. So,
right.
yeah, that kind of. I mean, anyone who prides himself on eating at McDonald's all the time, tell them that, because the whole
Right.
point is not only to live a long time, but to live a healthy life. It's not
That's
any
correct.
living life. Living a long time is these days isn't so hard. I
Yeah.
mean, you could live to be 70, which the Bible only demands 70,
Yeah.
while when the Bible was written, people didn't live past 40 anyway.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
now people are living way past that,
Yeah.
but they're not. They're living, always in the dock. I heard a funny joke where the guy has a sore arm, and he goes, and a friend takes him to a new church,
Mm.
and a faith healer comes out. Who here wants to be saved? And he zeroes in on this guy with the sore
Yeah.
arm, and
Yeah.
he goes, "Let me heal your arm for you." He goes, "Stay away from me. I'm on disability."
Yeah. My church. Yeah, my church does that.
Well,
Like at the end of the service,
yeah,
the pastor asks if anybody wants to come up for prayer.
yeah.
But sometimes I do too because I just wanted to like to pray for everybody that I know
Okay,
and everything, all
that's
that good
nice.
stuff. So it's pretty good for you. When you pray with somebody.
Okay. Now, he's not a faith healer, is it? He doesn't like put his hand on your on your on your arm and get rid of your arthritis or something.
He does do that sometimes.
Does it?
Yeah, I mean, it works pretty well.
Okay.
It works really, really good.
All right. I'd go to a doctor afterwards though,
Yeah.
just to make sure that
Yeah, I
the
mean that's good too. But
I used to know, I knew that I used to know a guy. He was the worst faith healer.
uh,
He turned a deaf guy blind.
yeah. My pastor is awesome.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's the best pastor I ever knew.
All right.
Yeah, so yeah,
Don't well certainly don't put him out the pasture if he's
yeah,
that good.
yeah.
Now, what other foods do you like?
I like
I mean, that you like to cook, I should say. See,
uh,
if I were a gourmet cook, see, I cook for myself all the time, but I
yeah,
only cook what I like and what I eat. And once I learned how to cook something, like I used to like Italian sausages with peppers and onions. Once I figured out how to cook that, I
yeah,
never had to order it in a restaurant again.
yeah. I like pork chops,
Yeah, pork chop.
pork chops, fish.
Fish.
Um,
You like liver?
I like chicken livers.
Chicken livers? Okay.
I've always liked those when I was growing up. So
Yeah, they're a good liver to start with. If you don't like chicken liver, I used to like chicken livers too until I started
yeah.
paying attention to what I was eating, and I was like, oh, I don't
Huh.
like this anymore.
Well, I still love chicken livers. So
I know a little kid who used to like chicken, and then he put it together that a chicken that he ate on a plate was the same chicken that was in the barnyard with feathers and laid eggs and stuff, and he
wow,
wouldn't eat it anymore. He goes, I can't
wow.
eat that chicken.
Oh, okay. All
I'm still at the point now when I go to a Chinese restaurant, I can't eat the octopus and the dim sum. I still say,
right. Oh,
I can eat anything. I can't eat the octopus.
speaking of that,
Yeah,
sometimes when I'm at a Chinese buffet,
yeah,
I do like Chinese buffets. So
yeah,
they have like these little miniature octopus, kind of like
yeah.
shape of an actual octopus.
I know. That is an octopus, actually.
I ate one. They're really good.
Well,
They're actually
yeah.
pretty good.
What's great about those buffets, certainly the Chinese buffets,
I like the sushi.
well, the
That's what I
sushi,
like.
what's great about buffets in a way. was that you could try food that you probably never would have ordered,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
frog's
yeah.
legs
Of
or
course.
octopus or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
usually what I do, at least once in my life, eat it, try it once,
Right,
and then say, okay, I tried it, I hated it.
right. All right. Well, yeah,
And
it's
anchovies are that way with me.
yeah.
Anchovies and
I love anchovies.
you love it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting to the point now. I just want my food very bland and unsalted.
Well, I like my food flavorful, so
Yes,
you know.
flavorful. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
that's what sauces are.
yeah,
There's what they call them, a saucier guy in
like
French.
saute.
Saute.
When you fry, you like saute. You just put seasoning in them
Yeah.
and like add a little oil, and
Yeah.
then just mix it together. Let it simmer for about 5 or 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then when they're cooking, just stir it up again, and then when they're ready, you just serve your plate. So
The biggest gourmand I know is my friend I used to do the show with, Gorgeous George,
yeah,
and he. There's nothing he doesn't eat. He likes everything, and anytime I mention a food, he always expounds on it and tells me the best way to cook it and everything. And I remember
yeah,
once we were on a show, and he mentioned that he wanted this chef to saute his onions and saute his potatoes and saute his meat.
yeah,
And I thought to myself, I said, you're the only straight man I've ever heard use the word saute.
yeah, yeah,
Those were as a time when we could tell those jokes.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was kind of, and then I just told it.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Saute, yeah, I don't even, to this day, I don't really know what saute means.
Well, saute meat, it's pretty much the same thing as like, frying.
Yeah,
Except it's kind of like a little more softer fry version than
yeah.
the actual fry.
Well, let me tell
So,
you, my mom never, I used to see these commercials for Crisco,
oh yeah.
and I never knew what Crisco really
It's
was.
it's lard, but you put it in a pan and then it melts.
It's
It's like a oil.
Well, I mean, I know what it is now.
Yeah.
It's actually not lard. It's like it's a vegan lard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's vegetable fat
Yeah.
in that tastes like lard. I mean, you use it as lard, and it's I guess better for you. You don't have to kill an animal for it.
Yeah.
But that we and so and I didn't realize, like I said earlier about the deep fat fryer, you would use Crisco in those cases. We did not fry food.
Yeah.
We never, in fact, the only thing we ever fried when I was a kid was eggs. Eggs
Mm.
come with their own kind of grease, so you could cook them in
Mm.
a pan.
Yeah.
But stuff like bacon and stuff like that, we never had that as a kid.
Oh, I love bacon
Yeah,
and sausage too.
we would have sausage once in a while. The idea of bacon in my family was that you were paying mainly for fat.
Yeah.
And if you know what bacon is, I mean, if you look closely at a bacon strip, it's this little strip of meat all surrounded by fat. And to get the meat, you pretty much have to eat a lot of fat around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why are we eating so much fat? Anyway, I tried to invent, I actually did this for a local newspaper, how to stay thin and everything.
Yeah.
I was really into fitness and all that stuff. And I discovered I did this is really fun. I discovered the Jack Sprat diet.
Ah.
Basically, you eat no fat.
Yeah.
The Jack Sprat diet, which I was surprised never took off as a diet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
all this food is making me hungry.
I know.
All this talk about food.
I know.
I'd rather talk about food than eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they do
Right.
on Survivor, I think, on
Yeah.
the shows like that. They were in prison
Right.
when you're a POW. You have to you think about food rather
Yeah.
than do
Yeah.
it. But anyway, we'll be back later.
Yes,
Okay.
we're gonna take a little break, and then we will be back. And thank you all for tuning in. God bless you.